23 minutes before the top of the hour. Welcome to this Monday edition of the program. Last Friday, the Black Management Forum held a lecture in Johannesburg in commemoration of its 40th anniversary. Having been a household name for decades, some questions about the BMF come to mind. How has it progressed, and what really is its role in today's black society and its impact on the economy? Well, joining us in studio to unpack all of this, we've got the BMF president with us, Mthunzi, as well as Sinabo Mnconywa, who is an academic transformation officer of the BMF Student Chapter in the Gauteng region. And it's great to have you with. He's also the Deputy Chairperson of the chapter's Wits branch. Good to have both of you. Thank you so much for being our guests on the program.
Thank you for inviting us.
It's an absolute
Good morning.
pleasure. Good morning to you. So let's go back to the beginning and talk about the initial formation of the BMF. Why? What was it all about?
BMF started as a shoulder to lean on for black managers who were frustrated in corporate for not getting opportunities or recognition or progress for their careers. And so they would meet up and talk about how they can coach, mentor each other, and devise some tactics in terms of how to survive in corporate South Africa then. But it has then since evolved to become a massive management and leadership organization in terms of how to make sure that you make those development and progress. And also it has been a voice for socio-economic transformation broadly within our country in terms of pointing out areas that needs to see progress. And this evolution has ensured that the BMF has come up with Basotho Head that evolved into Affirmative Action Blueprint and later evolved into the Employment Equity Act that we have today.
Yeah, I mean, we look at the slogan and the logo of the BMF, and it basically goes, the catalyst for excellence. Talk to us a little bit more about this and how it moves into this theme.
So we would like to think of ourselves as BMF members as the excellent managers. We believe that you must be a good manager first for you to be able to make a good leader. We pride ourselves about being globally competitive and thinking above everyone else in terms of how we approach. So BMF has inculcated a sense of confidence in its members, and it also ensures that we become competent in that process. But also what is important about it, it ensures that our identity becomes very key or crucial to us. So character is a big issue within the BMF. So competence, confidence and characters are the three keys that the BMF has been able to teach us.
Good. Let's talk a little bit about the youth now. And Sinabo, you come in for, I think, a big chunk of it. And when we look at the youth of today and the year of 2016, it started last year, and we specifically focus on the Fees Must Fall campaign. And I know that you went in there and you got very, very actively involved from your side. Talk to us about the progress and your involvement in all of this.
Well, Leanne, what we can say, well, rather from our side, is that we cannot be disingenuous to the plight of poor students and so forth, and to say that they cannot study because they do not have the financial means. And we went out there to the union buildings, to the president, to say no fee increments. And much as we are saying fees must fall at this current point in time, things cannot come to a halt, but it is up to us as a youth to try and enact the change that we want to see in our societies, and we cannot leave it up to the government to try and raise the funds that we need for us to be able to study. So hence we are sitting here today having this conversation because we are cognizant of the fact that the youth wants to study first and foremost, as you might have seen with all the strikes that mushrooming up in the country. And to say that we don't care would be rather disingenuous on our part, and hence we're here today to make a plea to the corporate sector to come on board, to make a difference in the lives of these young people.
Yeah. Well, what are you doing at the moment? I mean, what in terms of assistance? I know you're speaking out, but in terms of assistance, how are you helping?
Well, I've approached various corporates, some of which obviously cannot mention on air, but one that I will mention is the Pimbani Group, as well as Suzlon, based in Sandton, which have been very key in what I've been doing, and they've assisted from a monetary perspective to ensure that some of the students that I had on my list actually do get registered on the system within Wits. The thing is, I'm not just looking at Wits students per se, but the greater Gauteng and possibly the greater South Africa at large. But obviously, I cannot do it alone because I do not have the financial means to do so.
And in terms of the distribution of the money, once you get this money, how do you help the students? I mean, do you earmark students? Are they individuals? What happens with this money?
Well, the money actually doesn't come to me. It goes directly to their universities, of which it will cover the tuition, accommodation, food, etc. So it gets distributed individually to each student's account. And yeah, that is how we go about it.
Okay. I mean, we see through the years that obviously the role of the Black Management Forum has changed. I mean, as much as it has changed, some of these issues still remain very much so the same. But talk to us about your position and your role within the communities.
Yeah. Before we do that, I think I must comment Sinabo about this initiative and what they're doing. So it demonstrates the true spirit of what we want young South Africans to think about.
Yeah.
In as much as a master's student himself and is successful, but he knows that he needs to carry others along for them to be able to succeed. And we wish him well. So BMF has always been of the view that our environment in terms of where we come from, our socio-economic environment, has a bigger impact in terms of the progress that we are likely or not likely to make as a society. So we tell people that in spite of our successes as corporate managers or executives, we need to be sensitive in terms of issues just generally that are impacting South Africans. So BMF has, through student chapters, it has been able to do these sort of things. And I've been a member of student chapters myself, and we've been grappling with these type of issues. I think the challenges of students have evolved to what we have seen last year around fees must fall, but the issues around the free education, I think it's a reality that our leadership, political leadership need to look into, because we are not a poor country, we can afford it. So we need to mobilize all the resources to be able to make sure that it becomes a reality. And whatever help that our government or state would need, we are prepared. We have raised our hand to say we are prepared to come and be part of the solution. And these will comes to issues around our communities as well. Our members across the country are involved in community initiatives of some sort to make sure that we become sensitive to the realities and challenges that are facing South Africans out there.
Gentlemen, thank you for visiting us. Thanks for the work that you're doing with the students as well. I mean, as I say, I think you deserve to be commended for this and continue to help these students that are just so desperate for an education, something as wonderful as an education. All right, thanks again. We're talking to the BMF 40th anniversary and some of the things that they do here in South Africa. Of course, the president of the BMF with us here in studio, Mncane Mthunzi, as well as Sinabo, who is the academic transformation officer for the BMF Student Chapter in Gauteng. Let's take a break. When we return back to the Union buildings,